Ah, Rajna, welcome to us.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much for your piece. That was so beautiful.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and thanks Michael Kushner for supporting the new work by Rajna.
Yeah, that was a commission,
Thank
and we were able to commission you to do something new for yourself.
you.
One thing that I thought was so beautiful about your piece was that when the very first moment that it starts, you see these two things that seem like they don't belong in the same world. You see this piano and you see this mridangam, and then the minute they start playing, you think, oh, how come these haven't been together forever? You know, these really belong together. You know, and then your singing was very beautiful. But I wonder if you can talk a little bit about what it's like to work with a traditional instrument and to try to put it in a context which is not a traditional context.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, this was actually the first time I was trying this particular configuration out, and it was definitely a learning process because I just wanted to. I think that was the spirit of the piece. It's called Consilience, which is a sort of reference to the biologist E.O. Wilson wrote a book called Consilience about how the sciences and the humanities need to actually converge for us to be able to see the full truth and to have a path forward. And I was thinking of this idea of these different elements literally like jumping in together. Uh, I mean, I've been working on, if you could call it non-traditional things for about a little over a decade, I would say. Um, and it's, yeah, I think I've just been trying to keep my ear open for the resonances between different instruments. And one of the instruments that I think that I really looked to as I was trying to expand my vocabulary on the mridangam was the drum set. And I also have been playing piano on the side, and things usually transfer over from my mridangam technique into just my approach to the piano. And so while I was here and while I had this space here in Oregon, I thought, well, what would happen if I just tried to do them kind of simultaneously, and would there be kind of like a bleeding through of these modalities and blurring together? And there definitely is. There were just some unique discoveries that I really want to like keep pursuing. I think this piece is just kind of like the tip of the iceberg in terms of what I can work on in terms of integrating these different parts of my musicality. Yeah.
Rajna, I've got a nerdy question for you. You know,
Okay.
you're a mridangam player,
Hmm.
and you were singing. You know, obviously the inflection of your singing was inspired by also the Indian music,
Hmm.
and the piano is an equal temperament.
Hmm.
You want to talk a little bit about tuning and
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the piano is always challenging, and I think um, it would be challenging to just do something that was purely in one raga or purely kind of um, within that note set. So I allowed some flexibility, and I kind of allowed for multiple sort of tonics to exist at the same time, so that it wasn't um, it wasn't too obvious, the tuning issue. But what I really actually played with in this piece was the tuning of the mridangam, which I rarely get to do. I think is when I compose for my band, I'm thinking in terms of melody and harmony, and somewhat about, okay, well, my drum is tuned to D, so this will fit with the harmony here. But this was the first time where I was like, I'm gonna have everything kind of root back to these two tones, the tonic, and then this kind of this beautiful like overtone sound that's almost like half step above the tonic that's produced on this drum. And so I kind of used that with the piano to see just what would happen. And I thought it was really cool, some of the resonances between the two. So I wasn't thinking too deeply about equal temperament, but it's
love
it's just something.
I love the rub of that, taking the piano tuned as it is and bringing this other sensibility in. And I was amazed at how fluid it was. I mean, because you're doing these three very distinct activities.
Hmm.
Often people will play and accompany their singing. This
Hmm.
is really like three different strands or threads that would kind of pass by each other and connect, and amazingly fluid. So it was really beautiful, but also just really fascinating that it felt very, very calm and natural somehow. I don't know, really very, very beautiful.
yeah.
Thank you.
There's a comment, but I'd love for you to share where you are right now, because that's quite an incredible background, sort of
Yes.
where you're working and hanging out.
Yeah, for the past month, I've been at a socially distanced artist retreat out in Oregon. This is in Tye Valley, Oregon, which is about 2 hours sort of southeast of Portland. I've been here for the past few weeks, and it was really kind of this room. This is a converted chapel with a piano in it, and I was like, well, I could write a piece for myself on the mridangam, but once I got here, I was like, let me see if I can do something a little different, and the resonance in this room is just so beautiful. So I was really drawn to doing something that could bring as many elements together as possible, just for the joy of it, honestly. Yeah.
You're not far from Crater Lake National Park. I don't know if you've been to Crater Lake yet, but
I haven't. I haven't.
Or if you
But
can go, I wonder if you can go right now.
it's one of the wonders of the world. It's worth
mm,
worth a day off
I'll
because
have to do it. Yeah.
it'll blow your mind.
Thank you.
Well,
Rajna,
Michael, who can take a day off?
that's true. No one can take a day off. Rajna, thank you so much for talking to us, and thank you for the music and the new work. And we're looking forward to staying in touch with you. And Rajna, thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Rajna.
you. Thank you.
Thank you.